Everybody, Blake, partner, host, emotion, cousin Blair, aka Sir Winnie, and this is my partner in crime, De'Meco Deans, the other half of Father Time Podcast with De'Meco and Blair. Thank you guys for tuning in. You could have been anywhere in the world, but decided to watch the stream, or excuse me, watch the pod, and we cannot be more than gracious for that. This episode, we're gonna hit back to them roots and just go back to kind of what started this whole thing. Me and De'Meco chopping it up, and shit. How was your day, dog? Like, man, I mean, we kind of already got a little bit of it, but tell the people how you feel.
I'm winning. Super pumped about what? On the 26th, we going on all platforms?
All platforms, crazy. Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, so, man. This Monday. I'm
Monday. Super pumped for that. To see what type of buzz we can get with all those platforms. We've just been rocking out with YouTube. So yeah, it'll be nice to see what happens with that. But yeah, man, I'm winning. Baby girl is dropping turds like it's nobody's business. So yeah, it's a win.
I love it, bro. So that was kind of something that we were talking about when we first got into this thing. We were talking kind of about different ways to connect and to, I guess, like garner attention or garner a community base. And it started out as let's just do like the as many clips as we can on YouTube because people are visual, and we've always wanted to tap into the audio side of it because there are a lot of people who don't have the time to sit and watch the podcast, but they are more than down to listen to it. So this one as I'll be telling myself, we're doing this one for y'all. It's going to be a very new avenue, and this could also bring in like we were just talking about. This could bring in a different audience, that elder group. So like we do in every podcast, we got our own top 5 list that we're gonna go over today. I don't know if you guys know this about De'Meco or not. We both are like avid Marvel fans, avid New Girl fans. The nerdier, the better, I would say. So today we decided to do a little Marvel umbrella, not just the MCU, but De'Meco. Let's draft him up again, one by one. You got the first pick again.
You're gonna give me the first pick?
Yeah, man, I'm the host this time. Unfortunately, every time we've had a me and you pod, it's only been twice, but every time we've had it, I've always been doing an intro, which then gives me that volley.
So yeah, I don't.
What is your top 5 Marvel movies of all time?
And so I'm assuming you can use what I pick. We're just going off all time top 5. This ain't a draft situation.
All time. No, all time top 5. We're not going to draft. Or do you?
No, because I don't want to take your pick because I'm like I have a feeling that we'll have crossover.
We're gonna step on each other's
You'll
feet.
Be mad.
We're gonna step on each other's feet.
Mad. So
then I'll walk off the podcast. 15
Actually, I don't know if you'd be mad because I already told you that I'm like I kind of liked Daredevil. I like Ben Affleck Daredevil, so I don't know. I don't think you're taking that one. That's not on my top 5, by the way.
Yes, it is. You told me you loved it.
All right, so I'm gonna go. I can't even look. Let me look at this order real quick.
Ooh, where are you at? Where are you at in your Marvel hood? Where you gotta check movies?
Because I want to. I'm gonna rank it. I'm gonna go from 5 to 1. So I just want to make sure I'm looking at the. Yeah.
Oh, got you.
I just want to make sure I'm looking at it. Ooh. I'm just letting you know I am probably not choosing anything that is outside of the MCU.
Neither.
Okay. Honorable mention, X-Men First Class.
Hella honorable mentions. Yeah. I would say Logan and the Wolverine Origins movies would be like the ones that I would, not the one that he went to Tokyo. I don't like that. But Logan and Wolverine, honorable mention. But yeah, I've heard.
Let me get a good visual of this list here. All right. So at number, you know what? I can't do the math that's required to do it 5 to 1. So I'm just going to give you my list. I can't even, because then I'm gonna be mad that I accidentally said something that shouldn't have been that. I'm gonna be mad at my own list.
All right.
So
this nigga gets frustrated.
I'm already frustrated right now. There's too much pressure.
Oh shit.
All right. So the top one has to be Black Panther. Like that's it for me.
Okay.
That's one. It used to be Captain America because I just liked the story of Steve Rogers. But I've bumped him down.
And hate Steve
I've
Rogers.
bumped him down to two. That's actually, you know what? He's three. He's three for me. So one is Black Panther. Two is Shang-Chi, which I'm actually just watching right now. Three, Captain America, the first Avenger.
Okay.
Four, that's a tough spot. Four, I've seen a lot of people hate this movie. Avengers: Age of Ultron. I actually really liked it. I wish I.
It's the one that started.
Yeah.
It's the one that literally got the ball rolling for everything.
Yeah. I mean, you throw in Wanda in there, and it just like it was that snowflake that kind of kept going, or the butterfly flap. Yeah. And I want to put like Infinity War or Endgame on my list, but there's just so much that goes into that.
You would have to do both of those, bro, because they're like
because Infinity
group.
War leaves you wanting more. Like there's no
Endgame. You want Endgame
exactly. And I feel like it's a cop out to choose Endgame because you've got that like, hey Cap on
love you 2000.
Hey Cap, I'm on your left. That whole thing, like it. Yeah, I get it. No, my rounding out my five is Spider-Man: No Way Home. Because obviously it brings in other versions of Spider-Man, so it brings in the other universes of Marvel, which is cool. But being half black and Filipino, there's a nod to that Filipino culture with Ned and his Lola. I have a Lola, that's my grandma on my mom's side, and I was like, oh shit, like that's what's up. So
Ned got one too.
Exactly, and he got the little thing to do the magic. As soon as I saw that movie, I put on my little Facebook status. I'm like, not gonna lie, Spider-Man: No Way Home is a Filipino movie. You can't tell me anything else.
Love it. That's fire, bro. Great list. Great list. I like what you said about like Age of Ultron, or excuse me, about Endgame, because the pure adrenaline rush and like hero scream moment that you do feel when you hear like, hey Cap on your left, and then when they do the big pan and finally gets to fucking Captain America, he gets Mjolnir and he says,
I got goosebumps.
Avengers assemble.
Goosebumps, bro.
When he finally says assemble, bro, like we've been hearing and waiting for you to say Avengers assemble for like 5 movies, and you've said Avengers and they cut you off, or built up to it and it's like cut off, and then you finally got a chance to say it was like, yes, fucker, yes, goddamn it. I've been wanting this. I screamed in the movie theater at that moment. I was like, yeah. My wife was telling me to calm down. I was like, fuck these kids.
Have you seen the videos of the theater reactions to hey Cap on your left? I'm like, those give me goosebumps. And then the first person you see walking through the circle is
our king himself,
freaking Wakanda Forever, and just like the chant that they do, like the fact that that's the undertone of the whole score of that scene. I'm like, man, exactly, man.
Whew, you Bombay. Mm-hmm. Good shit. So my top 5. I could go in reverse order, but I'm gonna slice it up like you did. My first movie would have to be Blade, the original Blade, just because it is the movie that they threw out into the water because they didn't think it was going to do anything. It was Marvel's last hope to try and make some type of money after their bankruptcy. And excuse me, like if it wasn't for Blade and it wasn't for, I guess, like Wesley Snipes' star at that time, we wouldn't have the funds to go out and have things like Avengers or Tony Stark or even the Hulk. So Blade is number 1 for me. Black Panther is number 2 for me. I was really, really taken aback by what I saw when I saw Black Panther. Not in the movie, from the people, from us, seeing Black people fall in love with their heritage and their history and trying to figure out if they came from different tribes or what tribe they're from in Africa. It was really great to be able to see people enjoy their blackness for a moment in time and us be so strong together. So shout out to the cast and Ryan Coogler for putting together such a great universe for us. I kind of feel bad that they didn't let Nick Fury or or Bucky, or not Bucky, what's his name?
Rhodey.
Yeah, Rhodey.
War Machine.
Go to Wakanda. The only two brothers in the whole movie couldn't go to the only place, but whatever. So that's number 2 for me. Number 3 for me is Age of Ultron as well. Age of Ultron really did set the standard for me when it came to like understanding, like, oh, Marvel has a process. They're about to like break the hearts of a lot of people, because Age of Ultron only started, if you read the comics, it literally walked into Secret Wars and the end game in the Infinity War. So that was great. My 4th movie is Iron Man 2, where he's trapped in Tennessee.
No,
the little boy.
Is that 2 or that's 3?
Yeah, Iron Man 3. Yeah, sorry,
Iron Man 2's got the whip.
Whiplash.
Yeah.
Whiplash. Yeah, Iron Man 3, because Iron Man 3 had it opened up the door to show Tony's fatherhood, right? And that is me dibbling dabbling into that whole fatherhood podcast again. It is merging, because he found some type of solace in that young man who, again, he is in Endgame. It's a callback. He's in Endgame, but he's in that movie, and he kind of challenges Tony to stop being a punk. And it got Tony to go back to being the dude in the cave again. And then he came back with all the different Iron Man suits, which that's my favorite scene of the movie, when he goes to save Pepper Potts with every Iron Man suit that he's ever thought of, because his world was taken from him for a little bit. And that man let the dogs loose. He called every one of them things out, and still has some in the clip ready to go. And then to wrap it up, my very last movie, and it's to me is my favorite movie, my first date movie with my wife. It's Thor Ragnarok. I fell asleep at Thor Ragnarok. In the movie, I fell asleep. My wife and I's first date, passed out. Second time we watched it here at the house, passed out. It wasn't the 3rd or 4th time where I actually watched the movie, and it was great. Phenomenal, funny movie. Tiki, as a director, allowed them to finally show some humor and not break the 4th wall like Deadpool, because that would make Thor different. It would make him kind of odd, but to show like that humor in the Marvel universe, and like, yeah, it was dope, because we got to see Hulk be a big ass baby, big ass child.
For real.
Yeah, so it was really good, man. It was dope.
That's what's up. I mean, I gotta say, and this is, I guess this might expose me a little bit. I haven't seen Blade. I'm not even lying, because to be, I'm a scaredy cat. Like, I don't do scary movies. And in my head, when that movie came out, I was like, vampires. I was like, I don't know, I can't bring myself to do it. Yeah. And I just haven't had the motivation to sit down and try to watch it now. And I'm like, I told Kate, I'm like, we gonna have to watch this, but it's gonna be in the middle of the day. All the lights are gonna be on. Like, I don't play that game of scaring myself, because my imagination will let me scare myself. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Yeah, for sure. I figured it, bro. No, I truly enjoy Blade, and for a while when I was a kid, it didn't connect to me that it was Blade. It was just Wesley Snipes. It was a black dude on a movie playing a superhero, and he was winning. So to connect those dots and then go back as an adult and like understand Marvel was on its last leg, like they were almost like dead as a comic book source and as like them trying movies out. So Blade made enough money to make Blade 2, and then around the same time as Blade 2, we got Spider-Man, and then we started getting the X-Men series. And of course, Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, with it being as bright and happy, neighborhood Spider-Man, even though he was a grown-ass man, supposed to be a teenager, but this grown-ass man, his, bullshit that he's going through, that kind of like made it more mainstream and okay for people to make movies. And then you started to see, it started to just grow exponentially, and now it's to a point where we can't stop it. And I wish we could.
I don't know.
I really wish we
I've
could.
heard some things that Madam Web probably stops it. I've not seen.
Madam Web did not do a good job.
I saw. I mean, I think the last couple things from Marvel, Madam Web, and then Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I found out like
and Ant-Man Quantumanium.
Yeah, like that. If
terrible movies.
Yeah, just it jumped. But like with Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, I found out that the writers or the director didn't watch WandaVision, which is why her character, why her character is like out of left field.
It's so, and we've talked about this off camera a lot. If there was a way for them to like, I know Kevin Feige can't be at all places at all time, and he is trying truly to like give that freedom to the directors and producers to create their own world within the universe. Man, please, like your next wave of directors should be young, fresh directors, right? It should be how A24 does movies. Like, go get a guy who is like thirsty and grinding for a shot, like a guy like our guy Ty, who is doing great things over with Birdie Vision Media. He's on the last episode.
Talk that talk.
Get a guy like him who has like who can have a clean slate with the direction of a series, or get a guy like myself who is legit right here has a shit. I have a bookcase full of comics.
I gotta ask. All right. Okay. If we could imagine Ty directing a Marvel movie, what source material are we pulling from? What's the project? We about to manifest this right now.
I'm gonna get the
okay.
I got a lot of Amazing Spider-Man in here, so give me a second. All right, here we go. All right. So what I would want Ty to direct, and this is just because like the storyline in this is dope. Lo, Parker, and Laura, Peter, and DeBoer did a really good job of writing this series. Short run, 3 comic book series. Bloodline, Daughter of Blade. This series has some of the most insanely beautiful art. So the art is shot well, right? Skillfully put together. It starts off as a slower burn because they're introducing like her thirst. And she's been trained by her dad. So she's had that thirst, trained by her father, the passion, the aggression. So if you've seen Logan, kind of like Weapon or X-23, whatever they want to call her, Weapon X, kind of like how Logan's daughter is in that movie, like that aggression that she fights with. Imagine that, but sophisticated. Insane. Like, so Ty could put together a small like universe, or have him do the Ironheart series. Because black director,
Chi-Town's finest,
a black, yeah, for sure. You know, let him work with Riri. I think him working with Riri Richards, developing that series for her would be an amazing thing. And I'm not just saying that because he is a producer for the Father Time podcast. I'm saying that because he's an amazing friend of ours.
Bet.
And we'll just say that now. I mean, just a little slip. We just dropped that in right there. We are developing and elevating as a podcast. As you guys can see, the layout looks a little different with Todd's last episode and this episode. We have added to the staff or to the team here at Father Time. We've added a dedicated producer and co-editor. So he's going to be an executive producer, an executive director, and editor when it comes to the podcast moving forward. A great voice. He's a pivotal person in the community that De'Meco and I have been a part of for a while. So it was imperative of us when we first started this to, hey, if we had the funds to hire people or to have a staff, who would we bring on? And I think Ty came to me with his name like that. Like, so you guys will be seeing some of Ty starting next season, a little bit later this season, but starting next season for sure. He'll be in as a guest, as a co-host and a guest host for certain episodes.
I gotta mention this because we had talked about obviously what movie or Marvel movie would have Ty direct. Just to put it on your radar, if you're not already aware of them, Black Sands Comics is a black-owned comic production company.
Is Black Sands King Lion?
I don't know. All I know is go ahead.
Because shout out to King Lion. He's on TikTok. He's a TikTok guy, but he's been writing movies. He's been writing comics for a while.
He always got he got the headband on, right?
He's always got the headband on, the crazy hair. He's talking about dog walking bitches. Yeah, cause hey, when I tell you, dog, hey, if I could get Ty and him together, because they're both very like King Lion is strong willed when it comes to his shit, and he know what he's talking about, and Ty can put that man's vision to like, oh my god. So yeah, Black Sands or King Lion, like tap in with the dog. Let's go.
Yeah, yo,
and King Lion hear anything his name is attached to, so I know you're gonna hear this. Pull up.
But no, yeah, the artwork on Black Sands, I picked up their like bundle when they first dropped. I was like, man, I just want to be able to provide that sort of representation within our house. So like if Mayari ever decides to pick up a comic book, we got something.
Yeah. All right, so real quick, Black Sands is it's about like Nimbus. It's about the Egyptian gods, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I've seen them before. I've seen their comics. Also, just popped in my head because my daughter and I watched this. If you wanted to get in, and we just feeding y'all. We manifesting a lot of shit for my dog Ty. If Ty wants an animated series under his belt or an animated series to live action, let that man work with some CGI. Let's do Girl and the Devil Dragon, or Devil Dragon and the Girl. It's another Marvel book. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. That's it. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Let my man do that one. I don't have up the questions, but it's also because we don't have questions to ask each other. So let's freestyle. You got it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go with the origin of this friendship with your screen name, Winnie the Bish. What in the beginning interests you about Winston Bishop, aka Brown Lightning? What drew you to that character?
I think when I first started streaming, right? I mean, of course, people knew me by Bishop. If you didn't know my government name, you knew me by Bishop. So obviously, the name Winston Bishop came in. And I was trying to think of something for streaming. I was trying to think of something that like flow, that was funny, that I could like have like when I did intros. Like I wanted to have in my head my intro that I do for the podcast that I do for any of my videos on Instagram or even Twitch or whatever. They're all like that radio call host. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy here at Power 105, the jam. It's, like that dude. It's always been that in my head. So. So when I thought about, like my name and like how I would do it, it was my nieces and nephews couldn't actually say Blair growing up, so they would call me Uncle Bear, which then turned my granny to call me Pooh or Pooh Bear. Winnie. Saw Winston one day watching the fucking damn New Girl, and they called him Winnie the Bish. And I was like, oh, dude, that shit actually goes. And then it just developed to, hey, what's cracking? Everybody should play partner host of the most, because I am. Like, I'm a play partner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been on that shit since I was a kid. Like, Making Easy Money, Pimping Hoes is serious. I grew up in Nashville, but I got Memphis in my heart. Like, Making Easy Money, Pimping Hoes is serious, baby. Memphis town talk. You know what I'm saying? Thumbs up, north. So having that, like, smooth talk, being able to, like invite anybody to the viewership and make them feel like they're a friend, that makes me your country cousin.
I love it.
Because nigga, De'Meco, you my cousin. Roger, my cousin. When I meet him, like, we country cousins. We cousin from some dirt. We cousins from somehow. So we gonna keep that thing rolling. So it's always been that way with me. And I've always wanted to have like an inviting place. So like, and Winnie on New Girl, super funny. He's himself. He's finding himself after being a basketball player in Lafayette or Lavia and not being successful. He's coming back. And he's trying to what that thing do. He's trying to figure out who he is. And for a very long time, I was like, yo, like, who the fuck is Blair?
Yeah.
Like, Blair, not the college guy, not the athlete, not the bartender, and not even identified as Dad Blair at the time. Like, who are you, bro? Like, so it was great seeing that. And, he's just funny. So,
good guy. What's
up. And that really did. That was one of the first things that you talked about when you got on the podcast with me.
I noticed it right away.
When we shot the podcast episode for, my last one, it was on Discord. It was on Discord. So that's like where the name pops up at. And you brought it up and I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, right in the left corner, my name. You're right. I wanted to ask you, we kind of touched on it, like our first episode together. Why we decided to start this was to build a community and all that good jazz. But plenty of times we talked about it before and it was like, should we do it? And we thought about it for too long. Like, kind of explain to people the process that we have when we talk about doing it scared, but doing it together and like never not dad. Like, what does never not dad mean to you? And what does it mean to do this shit scared and together?
Yeah. So to do it scared and together, that's a big thing, I think. So often we are, as people, just seeing that ocean of fear that looks like miles and miles long and wide. It just goes on forever, but it's only an inch deep. Just make that first step and you're like, all right, I'm in it. I can do this. I knew I wanted to do this podcast. I knew I wanted to have a conversation with you. That's really what it is. I knew I wanted to have a conversation with my man Blair. I knew it. And I was like, I think it could be entertaining depending on what we talk about, like New Girl, Marvel. That's usually that's my bag. But I'm like, I want to get to know Blair beyond his podcast, beyond the content that he creates. And I was like, this is the perfect avenue to do it. And I get to learn more about other dads and I learn about myself. I get to like reflect on, all right, am I doing this my way? Obviously there is a wrong way to do this. Let's be honest. There's a wrong way to do this.
Yes.
But there are so many right ways to do it as well. But back to doing it scared. I mean, I personally don't like the sound of my voice. Like when I hear it back, I had to really psych myself up to re-listen to the episode that you interviewed me on, just because I'd never really liked the sound of my voice. So like to this day, I'm like, I don't really know if I like the sound of my voice. It sounded a little too, for lack of a better term, it sounded a little too uppity, and I was like, I don't like that. I sound like a square. But
no. But
no. Yeah, I mean, like, just doing it scared and just like, you know what, this is me stepping out of my comfort zone. This is me getting on camera, sharing my journey as a dad, as a person, like you're talking about, seeing that in Winston Bishop as finding himself. You were finding yourself. Was still trying to find myself. Ever since the 2020 year, like all that racial injustice, like that was very introspective for me on where does De'Meco fit in and how does he find his space. And thankfully with you, I have not only found my space, but created that and forced myself into it. But going back to your original question, the never not dad, ever since baby girl was born, like there's not a moment in the day that I'm not a dad. So every moment of the day is father time, because I am always a father, forever a father. Like that's just what I am. So when I'm on the golf course, I'm doing that for my baby girl. If I'm at work, I'm doing that for my baby girl. Like whatever, it's for her, it's for our family, it's for the advancement of that relationship.
For sure. I think that for me, I wanted to be able to. I wanted to step away from recording podcasts, and I did. And I was happy with walking away with what I did because it set out to. I wanted to create stories, and I'm 1,000% with you, bro. Can't stand the fucking sound of my voice, and I talk a lot, and I get other people to talk a lot. So I hear myself for longer periods of time, and I have to then edit these podcasts, and I'm going back, and I'm like hearing myself say the 15 times, like the, and to make sure that it's not and the, and it's like, oh god. So it's a lot of, self-reflection. And my wife was like, have you not, like, when I would put the podcast out in the past, she was like, have you not listened to it? I'm like, I listened to it a lot already. I'm sick of the shit.
That's
by the time you guys saw the very first episode, I was done with it. I was like, I don't even care if people watch this, to be honest, man. I'm tired of hearing this fucking talk. Like, shut up.
That's
nigga.
For real, because I felt the same way. I talked to my wife, and I was like, hey, whenever you have a chance, like, the episodes are up. She's like, oh, I thought we were going to watch it together. I'm like, no. I've already watched it, putting the clips together. I don't need to rewatch it. And I also don't want to watch... I don't want to watch you watch it, because I'm going to be like... When you give somebody a recommendation on a movie, you're like, hey, let's watch this. You're like just watching them watch it to see if they're laughing at the parts they're supposed to laugh at. I'm like, no, I don't want that pressure.
Oh, so your sense of humor ain't as funny as I thought.
Exactly.
You ain't really.
Exactly.
No, yeah. Like, a lot of my homies have hit me up. Like, hey, bro, like, why don't y'all premiere it and then, like be in the comments with us and watch? Like, because I don't want to know what you guys think in an instant.
Could you imagine?
Let me see. No, I don't want to imagine. Fuck no, I don't want to imagine that. Bro, let y'all watch it and let me see that a notification pops up. Hey, someone has commented. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Go back and do some other things. Get mentally prepared to see that 7 people have liked it and commented and be like, oh, they all liked it.
Yeah.
Cool. They liked it. They didn't just, okay. They're not just shit talking us. How has the response been, bro? We've got 3 episodes out. It's Chris, Keith, and ourselves. Like, how has the response been for you? I know that on the Keith episode, your homies told you to tell me to turn my fucking mic up, so hopefully y'all can hear me now.
Positive criticism there.
Yeah, a lot of the positive criticism is just like, hey, tell Cole to turn his mic up. Sound like he got some good shit to say, but we can't hear him. That's, again, me turning myself down so I can hear it. Legit, that's what it was. I turned myself down so I didn't hear myself as much and forgot to turn my volume back up.
That's funny as hell. He said,
what's your response? How you like it?
The response...
Negative 15.
The response has been good. I mean, folks seem to be fucking with it, and the folks that haven't found us yet. Like, just wait. We come on all platforms, so it's... You gonna be sick of us in a second.
We coming.
Yeah, exactly. What did Dion say? We coming. We coming. Exactly.
We coming.
But yeah, the response has been good. Not to say that I'm like not looking for that response, but like your wife was saying, like, you haven't listened to it, like you don't like to hear yourself. Like, this is more of an exercise of just me getting out of my comfort zone and getting comfortable talking and sharing that stage with you. Like, I just want to talk, and I want to do better at talking. So have a podcast and have some dope shit to say. Like,
want to talk in 2024? Start a podcast, nigga.
It
don't matter what you talk about. Just start a podcast. It legit, guys. Like we upped it. This thing is free. We got a camera.
It's free. Just, I mean, it's
got a camera. You could do it.
It's the only way we communicate. Really, is to talk. Obviously, there are other ways to communicate, but like, you say that, like, you use your voice as an instrument that it is. You got to work on it. Like, it's not just talking for the sake of talking. And I knew I just want to be a better communicator, and I want to hear people's stories, and I want to hype people up. And this was the platform to do it. I was like, I like hyping people's shit, like supporting people. Support your homies. It's free.
It's our thing.
Like,
it's our thing.
Like, I just love doing it.
We're coming out with merch. When our merch comes out, just understand it's going to be a few sayings on it, and it's just, hey, we're going to have a dad shirt. We're not going to tell you what dad stands for, the acronym, but we got one. It's going to be the blank 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 your friends shirt, and then it's going to be the FT with De'Meco and Blair.
Yeah, we gonna do it. We gonna do it. But yeah, I mean, it's been great.
We have plans, bro, and like that's what I meant by like, what is your feedback or response has been from this? Like, for me, since it's come out, I'm a numbers guy. I am a numbers guy when it comes to that analytical shit, because it's like watching film as an athlete. If we could see on camera what we can do better, or if we are seeing on camera that what we are doing is slowly getting better and people are fucking with it, then it's a knockout of the park for us, and we just keep doing what we're doing. So for myself, we have slowly gotten better at the delivery of things, our rollout when it comes to like content. So the numbers for the Usher trailer to the first episode part one, or the pilot episodes part 1 and 2, those are both decent numbers for first day drops. Then you can go and look at the Keith episode. Those are great numbers for a week. And then you look at Chris's episode. For 2 days, we've done the exact number as a week. So that is like, it's shout out to Toby in the Wigway, and I really truly I'm DMing him almost every single day until he blocks me, asking him to be on the podcast, because he has some gems, bro. Like, one of his gems is people don't care if you good. You know how many good niggas are playing basketball in the hood right now? You know how many of you right now watching this are good at something? People don't care if you're good. They care if you're consistent. My first podcast was not good because I was not consistent. If I didn't feel up to it to record one, I didn't. I didn't have a De'Meco, not in the sense like forcing me to do it, but giving me that positive feeling to come on a Tuesday production meeting. I look forward to production meetings. I look forward to these recordings. So before I didn't. Now I look forward to dropping a podcast so we can drop content, so we can do rollouts, so I can retweet everybody, should re-like everybody. Like, this is a great feeling now. Is it overwhelming? As fuck. Did I have a nervous breakdown because I didn't have control over some shit when I was trying to do the Chris episode? As fuck. Big time. Rocking right here in the corner with the lights off. Look at my dog licking me in the face. Like, I'm freaking out. This is it's good that it's a lot, and I've asked for this, but like, my nigga, I ain't telling you to turn the water down. Just let me dance in the bitch just a little bit. You just drowning your boy in blessings. I appreciate it, cuz. Like, let me just put a cup in that bitch for a little bit so I can dry off. But no, it's been a great response, and like seeing how people enjoy what we have created and what we are continuously creating just makes the wheels of creativity in my brain turn for opening up on the 26th, streaming on all platforms, audio and digital. When it comes to, hey, let's start breaking down a plan to bring in another editor, so it's not just 2 editors, it's 3 of us now. Yeah. Let's get a process to have a merch line. Let's get like taglines. Let's start to do something to where we're more progressive and in your face as ever.
Leaving our stamp
so like
on the world.
It's like the wheels have turned, and it's only thanks to the people who have continued to watch, the people who continue to share. So thank you guys tremendously. Like, you don't know how beneficial you are to this podcast.
For real. Like, it's been a lot. Like, the support and just the attention that we've gotten from just starting a few weeks ago. I don't know our numbers. I don't look at the numbers. I'm glad you do, because that's not something I do. And I am the one that, like, hey, as soon as we get a notification, I open that bitch. I'm looking to see what's I'm looking to see what's going on. I'm just like, let's find out.
Scared as shit.
As we round out Black History Month, I made a post that the narrative that Black fathers are not present is a lie and must stop now. Shout out to Call Me Shivy. I believe he's a teacher out in Atlanta. If you want to get some fashion tips, like, this dude he's just drippy with the fedoras. I can't even help it. Yeah, I mean it's so crazy for me, and maybe Blair, you can maybe speak on it from a different spot, but for me, I mean, my dad was around, so like I never knew that was the stereotype until I heard people talking about the stereotype. Now, obviously, there's levels of truth to the stereotype. I get it, but it was something that I didn't recognize. So no one could tell me, "Oh, you must not know your daddy." Like no one could tell me that. I knew who my dad was, but knowing that stereotype existed, and I just know that I will be present. I will be present. I remember texting you. I was like, "Yo, like, hey, I forget what we were texting about, but you were like, "Yo, be present with your baby," and I was like, "Oh, I appreciate you thinking about like, no, like this can wait. This father time stuff, like, it can wait. Spend time with your baby girl." I'm just so happy to be in a space right now with you, knowing that you're doing everything that you can do to be in your child's life. I'm doing everything that I can to be in my child's life and make it the best life that they can have. Everyone that I've come in contact with from Instagram, Ty, Chris, shout out my man Pierre. I mean, Rory Blackeroy, like
Rory.
all Eric Lowry, like I see an example in my face of them being with their kids. Yeah, they've got jobs. They're creating content. The world pulls them in a million different places, but they're as present as they can be and still put food on the table. I just love that's the narrative that I see now. That they're black men are just like stepping up and like that's my baby, and I just it's the reason for why this podcast, like Father Time, is undefeated. Good, bad, or indifferent. If you're there, it has an impact. If you're not there, if you're not there for Father Time, it has an impact. Good, bad, or indifferent. It depends on how your child will take that. So like I'm just so thankful that I can witness that level of fatherhood that we saw growing up in the 90s, like an Uncle Phil or a Carl Winslow, or I mean, I'm gonna throw in Andre from Blackish. I'm surprised no one has mentioned him as a father yet, as a fictional father.
Yeah, straight up, yeah, because he's one of those fictional fathers that is a real dad. Because that's what's the guy's name, babe? Who is the director of Blackish?
Ooh.
Kenyon Bears. And he has some gems in that. He has some gems in his Netflix show. Take the time.
Black as fuck.
Yeah, black as fuck. Take the time to watch that because it's the episode that he has with. It's the episode him and his daughter, or he's mad at his daughter for not wanting to take the scholarship to go to USC. She ends up going on like a day trip with her dad to go see like what Hollywood is like, and he takes her to the office with Tyler Perry. I don't know the actual quote, but the quote hit me so hard. It was a legit, like, that quote happened around the time I was thinking about what do I want to do when the pandemic was going on. I have like $15K in my pocket. I want to do something. I bought a drone, bought the gimbal. So like, what am I doing with this? Like, what? It's not a podcast. So thank God that I watched that show, because I didn't watch Blackish, but I watched Black as Fuck because I knew Black as Fuck was him. But like, yeah, Andre as a top 5 dad, he should be on that list. Hopefully somebody throws him on there. But going back to the post, being someone who is biracial, but being someone who had a black father, when you did, like, obviously you said that you didn't hear that growing up or didn't know it as much growing up. When you saw that, like, how did you initially feel? Were you taken aback by it? Like, was it like, of course you knew it because you heard it in stories and stuff, but did you think that it was that prevalent? Because from my point of view, dog, if I had 10 homeboys, 8 of us did not have a dad.
Yeah.
So it was mad rare if you had a dad in the neighborhood that I grew up in, or if you did have a dad, the nigga was in and out of your life. He was fucking up your mom, or like you were one of, insert number of amount of kids. And I'm not trying to like stereotype or make it like, oh, this guy's just trying to like glorify like no, that's like legit my black story. My 3 best friends, myself, Cortez, and Sean, all growing up, and KT. All 4 of us growing up. None of us niggas had daddies. Cortez's dad was in his life, but his dad was popping in and out. Sean's dad was in prison. My daddy was in prison, but very absent. And KT daddy just did not show up. The nigga lived down the block. So it's like, it's life for a lot of us. So like, how did you feel? Because I know how I felt. Like, I felt that the narrative needs to be spoken about more because there are so many of us being there. And I know what Gilly said is true. We don't need to be celebrated for being dads. Nigga, it's not like you don't get a fucking participation award for being a daddy. You did it. You laid down and did it and have fun, bitch. Like, live life and have fun with it. But for the niggas who, for the fathers who are here, not just the sperm donors or the daddies, the fathers who are here, the people who fight to see their babies, like I had to, like my wife and I'll talk about this in this episode. We can chop it up. But what my wife and I had to do in order for me to be able to see my daughter was insanely difficult, all for something that could have been a small conversation between 2 people. We had to go through courts, thousands of dollars, lawyers, mediations, like so much bullshit. And it made it to where my struggle and my grind to get my daughter, bitch, I don't want to be celebrated, but I am the one of black daddies. I am the Uncle Phil. Like when you look at me, you see Andre from Blackish, you see Carl Winslow, because there'll never not be a time where Shorty, like we talked about first episode, Shorty never knew a time in her life where her daddy was never there. Nigga gotta watch. She could text her daddy right now if she wanted to. She could come out of the room right now. Daddy, what's up? Let me show you this. All right, y'all, hold on.
Say less.
That's my life, cuz. Like, you got me fucked up on a dead homie. So my brother is one of those dudes who's a deadbeat. And that's a hard pill to swallow because, nigga, we both came from the same pocket. What you want? You're appropriating a stereotype so white people and others can have conversations. So me, I'm better than you. As a father, like the people who aren't in your kids' lives, hopefully you watching this to get that kick in the ass to go be with your babies. Because right now, you a hand. You a whole ass nigga. And I hope that your life changes to be a little better because your babies need you. Your babies need you, cuz. Like, put that shit, like, put whatever your BS aside is for your baby mama or for, they ain't no days in your life. When you got a child, it's you and your baby. So to change the narrative, hell yeah, like black fathers should be celebrated more than we are because we are there. There's a whole slew of athletes in the league right now who ain't got no daddies. Some of our favorite basketball players didn't have daddies, but right now there's niggas like Scotty Barnes, Jaren Jackson. You know how many juniors we seen in the league right now?
Yo, for real.
The thirds we seen in the league right now. That makes me feel good. Vernon McKinley the third went to University of Oregon. That nigga had his granddaddy and his daddy at the game. Every game.
That's what's up.
So to know that there's a lineage of men like your father who are out there, men like Ty's, like our producers, like stepdad out there, and his stepdad's family. Because also being a stepdad, that makes you more than a regular ass dad.
Yo, for real. Like I say that.
Yo, nuts is bro, that's big time.
I say that. I think about, and I'm gonna step away from the topic, but I'm coming right back to it. I think about my relationship with my wife and why it is so strong is because we chose each other. We weren't.
Fuck yeah! I chose you.
I chose you. You chose me, and you chose the person that you know that I can grow to be. Like, you chose this. That's why, like, some of your boys, like your friends, are closer than your relatives because y'all chose each other, and y'all ain't gonna pull no punches when you, like, yo, you need to get off your ass. Like, you're gonna be real with them. Going back to the stepfather, stepmother, that whole, like, you're choosing to, like, to love this kid. Child.
It's not yours.
Exactly. Like, that's real. That's real. And I mean, like,
for sure.
The stepmother always gets a bad rap because fucking Disney.
Disney fucked up the stepmama real shit. They did.
Yo, sorry. Like, that's real though.
Hey, that's so real.
That's real.
really did.
That's real.
As he wears one of the hardest Disney shirts I've ever seen.
Yo, for real.
One of the hardest Disney t-shirts I've ever seen. That's tough.
But yo, stepdads, you choose to be in that child's life, and that is, I mean, that's deep. You make that conscious decision of like, I'm going to help raise this child. Like that's huge. That's huge.
So I say that, and I can kind of piggyback off that because my beautiful wife, my strong ass wife, at this exact moment is probably making some type of snack for my daughter while I sit and do a podcast about father time. I'm sacrificing the father time so my wife can be the greatest stepmom of all time to our daughter. And then that's just emboldening her and like our build to be like, yo, when we have a kid, oh nigga. I already know my wife is gonna be one of the strongest like mothers of all time. So to have like seen my stepdad Dion choose me, and I think after our first episode dropped, I called him and I told you, I actually sent you a text. I was like, yo, I just got off the phone with my dad, bro. Like, and we just had a good ass cry. And I'm pretty sure after I get off this one, I'm gonna call him. We're gonna have another one, nigga, because I'm talking about you again. My stepdad didn't have to do that. He was 26 years old when my mom brought kids to his doorstep, pretty much. Not to his doorstep, but like to his life. You know what I'm saying? And any 26-year-old man in Nashville, Tennessee, who's athletic and could have done any and everything in the world, he could have had any girl in the world at that time. He chose my mom and he chose us. Like, Dion is one of the coolest, strongest, God-fearing, religious men. Like, the adjectives could keep going when it talks about my daddy. That's my daddy. My next child, if I have a boy, my son's middle name will be Dion, because he would be named after my dad. Like, what Dion did and how he stepped up, and still to this day, I'm 33. That nigga and my mom have been divorced since I was like 17. He is still in my life. He's still kicking with my mom. They still play Scrabble and shit, bro. Like, they best friends, and they best friends because of the bond that they built. Again, they chose each other for what they saw in each other. To see my wife have that same choice with my daughter, to see their relationship, bro, like I low key am jealous that my daughter only likes my wife. My daughter don't fuck with me. My daughter fucks with my wife big time. Maybe because daddy be doing podcasts. But my wife, cuz, like, hey, let if it's like one of them videos, like be blindfolded and Penelope can pick one person, or if this house is on fire, the dog is already outside, all her toys and shit, and she could pick like daddy or Alma, pretty sure she gonna get Alma out there.
Daddy gonna be all right.
Daddy gonna find his way out the house.
Daddy is scrappy, but he will figure it out.
My daddy has grit. That nigga be all right. No, but I'm pretty, like, when she's 7 now? When she was 5, I think 4 or 5, she brought up to like my wife and her mom. She was like, "Yo, like, why can't y'all get married instead of you marrying dad?" I was like, "What
the
fuck? My chopped liver, nigga? What the fuck is that?"
Oh, for real.
But no, it's great. It's great to be able to be a something she'll never know.
Bet.
You know what I'm saying? That's a great film. Like, something she'll know. Like, she'll be like, "Oh," to when people talk about the relationship with their parents, she'll be like, "Oh, never knew about that. I had 2 daddies, 2 mamas.
Yeah.
I had 4 grandparents."
That's the narrative that people tried to put on me.
8 grandparents.
Yeah.
She got 8 grandparents if you think about it. Yeah, she good.
That was the narrative that people tried to put on me because my parents were split up. They're like, "Oh, you grew up in a broken home." What are you talking about?
Yeah, explain that, though. Like, because a lot of people would say that you did grow up in a broken home. You were separated from your parents. Was it teenage years? Or did you go to live with your parents during the teenage years? Or with your dad during the teenage years?
They split up when I was around 2 years old. And I spent the first 12 years of my life with my mom. And I saw my dad on the weekends or any other time that during the week or whatever. Like, it was never a problem or an issue to go see my dad or for him to come see me. But it was when I was 12 Yeah, 11 going on 12. I started living with my dad, and started living with him and his wife, my brother, and my sister. And yeah, I never felt the broken part of it. Like, I've always been a person that thought like life is not about what happens to you, but how you respond to it. And that's, I don't know where I got that from, but like as a kid, I just always chose to see the positive side of it. And I was like, well, I know my mom loves me. I know my dad loves me. So I'm good. Like, my mom remarried, my dad obviously remarried. I never really saw the step parent in that same light of like they chose me. Like, that's what when you were talking about, like, I know my stepmom may have tolerated me. Like, my dad
that's what I
my
mean.
dad
Like,
imposed his will. Like, no, this is my firstborn son. This is my son. He's coming to live with me. Like, she had a choice, but I don't think she really had a choice.
she had no choice.
And I was like, I wouldn't have cared either way. I'm like, all right, well, I didn't ask to live here, but I'm gonna live here. That's fine. But yeah, I didn't say like, oh, I got two extra parents. That I didn't ever feel that. I just knew like my parents. I knew my mom, my dad loved me. I knew that like that was solid. Yeah. And at no point did I ever feel unloved by my parents. Now, obviously, when my dad was whooping my ass for them badass grades, I'm only doing this because I love you. I'm like, well, nigga, love me less, okay? Like, I've had enough of this love right now, okay?
Hey, Darlene, back off of that goddamn love, my nigga.
Because I feel like every one of us,
I don't like that shit.
Any kid that your parents says, I'm only doing this because I love you, has said this when they go back up to the room and they swinging like Cuba Gooding Jr. and Boys in the Hood, like, yo, love me less, okay? Like, you screaming into that pillow, you like, that's some real shit. Like, ooh,
the muted scream.
For real. Oh, if we were in the streets, I'm gonna knock you. Oh, for real.
She keeps saying she's not one of my friends. You lucky you're not my friend. I beat you up.
I feel that.
Oh, man.
I feel that. I embody that line from Friday After Next when Ice Cube throws Mike Epps to the dumpster, and he's like, "We are not little no more." Like, I feel that way now. Yeah, like whenever my dad would try to call me now,
bro, I gotta tell my mom that. I have to tell Darlene that. Like, I love you to death, and you watching this. You know how many times my mom be like, "All right, boy, I'll beat your ass." Like, I am 6'2", and I am a grown man. No, you won't. Ain't nobody beat nobody ass around here. I got a whole child in these streets. Ain't nobody whooping me.
For real. So
what you think about?
I want to actually touch on that. You just brought it up. With the birth of Penelope, like, did the relationship change with your mom? Because I've noticed that with my mom. She still sees me as her son, but it's less of that's my baby. I mean, I know I'm always gonna be my mama's baby, but like her baby has a baby, so she kind of sees me in that light of like, oh, De'Meco's trying to be a dad. Did that dynamic change for you and your mom?
All right. So guys, people out there in the world, Father Time Podcast. This is the reason that I'm a dad. This is Miss Penelope Honor McCarthy Cuts. Say hi to people.
Hi, people.
You want to say what's up? You want to say anything? You don't? You don't want to say anything while you're on the... So, look, check this out. I'm going to tell you this. So, you know how, like, we're recording this and it's this year? So, when you are, like, 17, you'll be able to see this and you'll be able to see yourself. So, do you want to say anything to your 17-year-old self? Want to say what's up to you in the future? That's kind of creepy, huh? That's kind of creepy, huh? But yeah, this is my princess. This is my twin. This is my best friend. This is the reason why this podcast
But I don't have a beard. But I don't have a mustache either.
Okay, well then like this. Love me. The relationship that so my mom was, when I told my mom that we were having the baby, my mom has always seen me because I'm her last boy. So I am the baby boy. Now there's my sister who is the baby of the family. But I'm my mom's baby boy. And quite as kept, Cheyenne and Kimmy, I'm sorry to tell you all this, I think I'm mama's favorite. I really do. I think I'm her favorite. But it was just moments where right now, seriously, my mom treats me like I'm her baby boy. She treats me like I'm the 15-year-old boy that walked out of her house, or excuse me, the 16-year-old boy that walked out of her house to live with the homie for a year before I joined the military. I think she still sees me as that dude. So the fact that I'm like a father, and the fact that I'm a father and a husband, it gives her a sense of pride and a sense of joy. That came when I was in the service as well. When my mom came to graduation, when my mom came to graduation for my military service, I truly saw her. That was her joy. That was true joy for her. No amount of sports I could have played, dancing, music, anything like that. Like she was proud of that. She's proud of me being a husband and a father, and she's proud of this. She's proud that I'm able to. I don't know if she's proud about it. I know sometimes it hurts her, but I'm proud that I'm able to speak about things that I saw as a kid, that I experienced as a child, that weren't normal. And my mom and dad can give themselves grace, understanding, and knowing that they didn't have good tools because of their upbringing. But what they did was give me a chance in a way to be better. And that's all you want to do as a parent, is set your child up to be better, a better version of you. Because if you're the pinnacle or the peak and then everything drops off, you didn't do your job right. So I want Penelope to be better than me. But my mom sees me as her baby boy who just has some better moments that she can brag about. Because my mom puts me on Facebook all the time, even though I'm not on Facebook. She would post me on Facebook literally everything that I do that she thinks is like this podcast. I'm pretty sure she posted the link to this podcast and was like posting a Facebook account from 5 years ago that I have. So, shout out to you, Mom. I love you. I'm always going to be her baby boy, though. I don't think there'll ever be a time where I'm not. No matter how much I tell her how old I am or that she needs to allow me to grow up, Darlene will never let me not be Duda from Yay High. So,
yo, shout out.
I gotta accept
shout out that Facebook profile.
Shout out to
because I look
that thing's living based off of her.
Because I looked, I was like, oh, because I was like looking for things to ask you on our first episode. I'm like, all right, let me do a deep dive on my man Blair. Let me see what he got on. All right, and I was like, oh, all right, bet. That's what's up. That's my guy.
I don't even remember what Facebook looked like.
Bro,
so hopefully it was good shit.
Almost positive the profile picture is a shirtless picture of you holding your baby.
Me and Goose. Yep. Yeah, so that's literally the last thing. I'll show you a little young pic of me. Little small Winnie. Baby Winnie, and then no, this is me in the hospital with Shorty. She was crying. She would not stop crying. I did not know what to do. This is the first do it scared moment. That's legit. Real. The first do it scared moment was that right there. Then I became a G at putting her to sleep and sleeping when she slept. Pinky in mouth. No binky. Hold on, where's it at, bro? Here we go. Shout out to my queen. This is me and my mommy.
That's what's up. Well, we over here posting baby pictures. I gotta get a baby picture up now. Damn. I know I got one.
My fault. This probably didn't go off of any of the questions that you asked.
No, yeah, I actually remember my question. It was basically like, did the relationship with you and your mom change once Penelope was born? So that was a long-winded answer. The short-winded answer is no. I'm still her baby. Yeah.
Oh my God! So producer just came in. Voice of God just dropped a question in. Does your mom or dad treat your child different? And your baby's only one, so not much to go off of. But do you see that happening?
I don't know.
And that could be a question that we pose to the comment section for the people who have older children. How do you feel when your parents give your child a little more leeway than they gave you? drop your answers down in the comment section.
Yeah, I don't.
Because right now,
I got nothing.
Yeah, right. My mom and Penelope don't have much of a relationship for me to be able to give that type of answer. But I know when I'm with Penelope, when Penelope's not around, in my head, I'm like, yeah, we got to make sure that she's, taking these classes and doing this and doing that. And like, she better be doing this and like, she better be doing that. And the second the nigga get around me, I'm a piece of jello and soft as hell. And you can have all the candy you want. We can stay up. I don't want to go to school. You don't got to go to school. Like, I'm soft as hell, bro. Like, and my wife says it too. She's like, bro, you be talking a good game. Like, she's like, talk shit Hall of Fame, you win now. But when it comes to execution, your daughter got you wrapped. And
that's what everyone was trying to tell me once they found out that we were having a girl. They're like, oh, like, she gonna be, like, you gonna be wrapped around her. I'm like, I know. Like, you're not telling me anything I don't know. Like, yeah, I can see how having a son may have been a little different, but I'm like, I'm still going to be a pushover. Like, I've already told my wife, I'm like, you will have to be the disciplinarian. Like, it's just not in me to do that. I'm like, I
have a good voice. Yeah. I got a good bark. Like, my hey can get anybody's attention. I feel like.
Oh, for sure. I can see that.
That's about as far as it goes. You know what I'm saying? That's about as far. And that's the military hey, though. It's legit the military. It's like being able to, like, sir. So it's like, hey! And that's like my dog. Yeah. Everybody, but other than that, it's like I'm very but you guys know this, podcast people, and I've told my co-host and brother this. Sometimes when I talk, I don't know what the fuck I be saying until I'm done talking, and then I get like a quick recap of the sentence. So sometimes I'll be going mad hard, and it not just on my baby girl. Like when I coach basketball, like the last team that I coached was a team of little girls. Shout out to those girls. They legit made me a better dad, I say. Because going to practice with them, being able to like change my tone and how I talk to people, basically came from how I talk to those little girls. But I was seeing that in them. Like I was like snapping, coaching them like how I would coach a team of boys, and then like seeing their body language change and knowing that like. You have 0.5 seconds to change your tone, attitude, make the situation better before they now have a completely different view of you, and it's going to be that view for the rest of this time. So then I got to do some weird like dance or like goof up, like, but I'm just saying that because I want you guys to be like solid. Oh my God, Slay Queen or some shit like
Winnie
that.
the Bish shit.
Yeah, I got to Winnie the Bish it up. All right, so I'm gonna send this picture into the group, but this is one of the few pictures that I do have of myself, my mom, and my daughter. So when my mom came out to visit, my wife flew my mom out here, and so yeah,
that was
for this episode. We could use that one.
That was in the video, right? Your father time video, your little montage.
Yeah, one of them, yeah.
Yo, so
yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
This is probably the drippiest. I mean, since Ty's on this producer right here, this is probably the drippiest I feel like I ever felt as a kid.
Ooh, let's see.
But also like the goofiest.
No, that's not goofy because your dad put you in the Ken Griffey Jr. style. Cause he knew what he was doing.
That's mom.
Hey, you could remake.
Moms.
That's moms. Hey, moms know what's up. You could remake that right now, bro.
Jean jacket.
You could remake that with the jean jacket.
And then yes.
So I sent you a clip, bro, De'Meco, and it was what was his name?
Rogers.
Oprah Winfrey was interviewing Mr. Rogers. Thank you. I'm glad that you knew exactly what I was talking about. And the question that she posed to him was, what is one of the greatest mistakes you can make as a parent? He gave a very of course, Mr. Roger-esque answer, very beautiful and laid out. But what is it? What do you think? Not that you do or don't, but like as a father, the fear of like, what is a fear that you have mistake wise? What mistakes do you think parents can make? I would say.
So I think the biggest mistake that I feel that I could make as a parent, and that I think parents make, is imposing their definition of success onto their kids. Um, Now, there's a difference between teaching your child values and how to be a good human being, but imposing the definition of success it's different for every person. It's only setting you up as a parent for disappointment. It's only setting your child up for having unrealistic expectations of themselves. And it creates tension in the relationship, in my opinion, and in my experience. There was a time and a place where my definition of success aligned with my dad, and that worked until it didn't. And when he refused to see what I was putting out as far as what I view as successful, that's where the friction happened, because I'm like, at my core, this is what I believe to be right. This is what I want to do with my life. But at his core, it wasn't that. So that's where that friction happens. I think that is the start and the origin of a lot of issues that can exist between a parent and a child, is that miscommunication. Like, understand who your child is at the time that you're talking to them. Like, stop thinking about like, hey, I'm talking to my 7-year-old daughter, but I'm talking to her as if she's 25. Like, hey, these mistakes will haunt you for the rest. She's 7. It ain't this. Like, it's serious, but it ain't that serious yet. Like, let your child be a child and express what they are trying to just experience in the world. I mean, so often parents just force their kids to grow up too quickly, and maybe that's just what happens in the Black and brown community, where like, hey, I'm about to leave you home alone, but like, don't answer this door, like, or hey, go run to the store for me and pick up a loaf of bread or whatever. Like, I mean, Blair, you're from Chicago. I was taking the red line by myself at 8 or 9.
Yes,
like that's too young. I
no way a child at 9 is supposed to. I would not put Penelope on the red line if my life depended on it. My daughter would not be on the red line at 7. What are you talking about? That's a 3rd grader, bro.
Like, and
cuz dead homies, that's a 3rd grader being on the red line. Cuz that's wild.
That's crazy. Yo, yeah, shout out my mom. Like, she trusted me enough to be okay, but like, that's reckless.
That's very reckless. Parents are wild. But again, like, the tools they had, like, in their head, they legit walked to school in the snow 17 miles from Mississippi to Alabama to make sure that they got a good education. I feel both ways. Like, how did that happen? I think for me, you kind of ended off with your version of what that like fear is or failure is, on like what my complete definition of it is. My version of failure is imposing on her or being mad at Penelope for simply just being a kid, like for doing kid shit. Like, my brother and sister and I got in trouble for just doing kid shit. Sometimes we broke some shit in the house. Yes, we did break a lot of the fucking clowns that was in the crib, but that's what kids do when we just running around and joking and playing with each other. Like, yes, dude, she had so many of them. Yo, I'm afraid of clowns to this day. Like, when people was coming out, bro, yeah, for sure. Like, back in like 2016, 2017, y'all remember that when like people were just like standing in the fucking dark with clown outfits on? That thing was on deck. Please play with me if you want. I'll kill a clown. I've killed so many clowns in my past. I can't wait.
That was a thing in Chicago. Like, folks were like there were like, people were committing crimes in that clown shit. Like,
in that clown mask.
It was right when it came out.
Die if you want to.
You know me, scary shit. No.
Die if you want to. But but no, it's like it gets to those points where like I think I remember like a lot of my memories as a child were like, yeah, this was really great, but the undertone of it was like a lot of bad shit. Not bad, not a lot, and I want to say a lot because I don't want people to think I had a bad upbringing, and I want my mom to see this and think that like I think that the shit that happened was bad, but my mom had to work 2 jobs and go to school in order for us to just have like a basic living. So when it came to like myself, she was doing the extreme to make sure we barely had. So idle hands is the devil's playground. Like all we had, like my brother, sister, and I played baseball in the house. I have a scar on my face on one of these, yeah, over here, where I slid into third base, hit my face. Third base was the entertainment center. And y'all know them thick ass entertainment centers from back in the day that was like a whole mile wide. A chunk of my face came out, and my mom was getting her hair done. The first time she had a day off, and damn near like a month. This girl's working Friday to Friday for a month straight. She gets one day off, and my dumb ass decides to slide in third place. And me and my brother in the house doing this with the scar because they could talk. We were like, "Oh, look, it talks." And she was like, "Stop fucking messing with it, darling." I don't know if she gonna remember this, but my brother and I, she made because we live close enough to the hospital. We're like, it was a punishment to walk, but it wasn't. But she made us walk to the hospital and she drove behind us. She saw us like, fuck, she's like, stop it! And like, oh, but yeah, it was a great moment, dog. It was like a lot of, again, great moment, great memory, funny memory, but it comes from a idle hands moment. And my mom was mad. But also, like, as a parent, I think about it now, it's like, she didn't have insurance, nigga. So one of us needing stitches with no insurance? Mm-hmm. No, bro, like you fucked up. But we had to take on the brunt and the fear that adults had as children. We couldn't make mistakes as kids because those mistakes came with adult or parental repercussions. It was just so sad, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. Like, my mom left me, like, when school was out for the summer, my mom worked at the hospital. She left me home alone that whole summer, unless I had like some shit to do. Like, I got real good at cooking scrambled eggs because like that was the only thing I could cook for myself.
Fried bologna sandwiches with the noodles, cuz stop playing those with me. I was a G. We used to
those hot links.
We used to sell those sandwiches. Yes, cut the hot link in half. Sandwich smushing on both sides. If your mom wasn't home and you had like enough bread, y'all just went grocery shopping, you could get like the toast, put a little butter on it with the cinnamon and the sugar. Hold on now. What? Now we got French toast with the egg and the cheese and the sausage link? Bougie busting, bro. That's back in the day.
I feel like that's how I became like some sort of like creative cook, is like you just figure out what you got in the cabinet and be like,
ain't nothing in the cupboard.
Let's figure it out.
Ain't nothing in the cupboard. We gonna make something make sense. We gonna make something
for
twerk.
Real.
Something gonna twerk.
That's crazy.
Nah.
You lost me with it.
Ain't it kind of weird?
You lost me with the porcelain.
We all live in the same house.
The porcelain clowns, though, because that shit was real.
Bro, that woman had like 15 of them just on the entertainment system and got mad that they were getting broken. Like, bitch, I got fears of these things. I'm hucking these outside. You wondering why they broken, you can't find them. Bitch, they down the heat.
I know exactly where they're at.
I know where I buried the bodies. I know exactly where I buried the bodies. That's going to the grave with me. Real quick, favorite memory before you ask your question. No, ask your question. I'm sorry, because I got mine.
No, let's go, because mine changes the tone of this conversation. I got a heavy hitting question because I saw a video that I knew I wanted to ask you. So
go for it then. Go for yours, because mine's an upper. We can end on mine and then plateau out.
Yeah, because I don't have this feeling. It's not something I can relate to. But I feel that you may be able to. I saw a video on Instagram, and I can send it to you later. But it was of a dad dropping off his son at his mom's house, and like it was that moment of just like, okay, I love you. It was a cute, heartwarming, like, I love you. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow, or I'll see you whatever the next time was. And it obviously you could tell the dad was holding back those emotions because just like putting on a brave face type of thing. How is that for you? I know that you split your time with Penelope when like you said, like she can call you. You're not that far from her, but like you're still saying goodbye to your baby. Like to walk me through that, because I don't got that, and I can only imagine how hard that is.
That's tough as hell, bro. Because like I just did this last night or night before last. So I get Shorty Tuesdays, Friday, Saturday. So Tuesday and Friday, Saturdays, every other week she spends the night. Friday and Saturday she's with me every week, right? So Wednesdays are the hardest days to come back home from school or just like get back to this house, because there's not like a laugh that comes with me. Damn, this is a heavy hitting question. To say that I wouldn't do anything to be with my daughter every single day would be a lie, because my wife is my everything. My daughter's going to be here one day and I'm not. So in a sense, I got to be able to live and love and be able to create, right? So my wife is that person that I decided to pick. I chose her, she chose me. But for her mother and I decided to do that. And then her mother and I decided that it didn't need to work out or wasn't going to work out. It's as hard as Ray Lewis hitting Keelan Winslow coming across the middle. It's as hard as Bob Sanders taking a head off. Any analogy, train hitting a semi, unmovable force, whatever it is that you want to say, that pain and hurt. Bro, I wouldn't wish this shit on my worst enemy, cuz. Straight up. Are you okay? Hey, Shorty. Goose. Goose. Oh my. Jesus Christ. This nigga's zoned out. She's not paying attention to me at all. Oh, I'm crying tears for this nigga. She's like, who? What?
Who, me?
Who's Goose?
You said it early in the episode. She's like, I don't care about you. Like, if the house is on fire, I don't care.
Talk. She's like, nigga, I am watching Teen Titans Go the movie. Why are you fucking with me? But no, man, it's painful. Because again, I put myself in the situation. It makes me go back and think about what I could have done to make our relationship better. What could I have made a different choice to ensure that I got her all the time, or to ensure that her mother and I are still together to this day? But would I be this guy still? Quick and very solid answer is no. Not at all. I would still be, when I was with her mom, I was still angry at the world for absolutely nothing. Just because I was confused and upset with myself. So the easiest person to take it out on was the closest person to you. The reason why I say things directly and I'm direct with my tone and I cut off certain things and I cut people off is because just the tone of my voice can change everything. It can make the day go from bright to dark. Not saying that I'm that powerful, but I've seen and I'm living that to this day. So, yeah, that was a long-winded answer. Short-winded answer is hard as a fucking ton. As heavy as a ton. Tell her no, because whenever she's here, like I told you on the first episode, whenever she's here, she's in the bed with me. because I don't get those moments. I don't get those goodbyes. Yeah. I don't get those good nights with her. So she sleeps in the bed with me and my wife and my dog. We're all in the bed together. And then the next night when she's not here, it's legit like a broken up dude. Like I'm sitting there like reaching for, trying to cuddle with a space that's not there. Like a piece of my heart is always gone until she decides to like want to live with me and my wife. But her mom reigns supreme. Not like in a negative way, like she loves her mom, which she should. It's her fucking rock. So she's gonna be with mom until like her and mom have that daughter mom moment and she's like, I want to live with daddy. Then that's when my house goes from being the fun house to the disciplinarian house. But right now I have to be the balance for mom. So fuck. Yeah, bro. That's probably one of the hardest things legit that I have to deal with on a daily basis, bro. It's like on a random Monday, I just want to kick it with my nigga, bro, and I can't. Great fucking question. Great fucking question. Great question.
I mean, we said it with Keith. You gonna get got.
You gonna get got, no matter who you are, bitch. We gonna get Lil Wayne to cry on this motherfucker. Like I said, we gonna get Wayne to cry. I'm gonna cry. Wayne gonna cry. Somebody cry.
Reminds me, it kind of happened with Ty's episode where I was listening to your answer and immediately transported to a moment that I could pull from that resonates with me the same way that I obviously see you going through right now. When I was 11, my mom had decided she wanted to move me and her from Chicago to Arizona. And that was with the new person that she was going to start a life with. And so what we had to do was, hey, we had to pack our shit up, move on to Arizona. But before we go, I had to say goodbye to my dad. And I remember going into his office, and I don't say lucky, but like he owned that building. He owned that office. That was his company. And so he could kind of make his hours as he saw fit. But I remember going into his office in the middle of the afternoon on a weekday, and my mom telling him what was happening. Hey, I'm bringing De'Meco. We're moving to Arizona. And it was the first time that I'd ever seen my dad express that type of emotion. And the emotion that I saw on your face, I felt it in that moment where my dad didn't want to let go of his son, his firstborn child, his baby. He didn't want to let go. And I didn't want him to let go. I remember that embrace with my dad. And as dark of a moment as that was, and that felt like in that moment, it's one of the fondest memories I have with my dad because it was the first time that I'd ever seen him kind of let his guard down. And I remember sitting in his office chair, like I was sitting on his lap, just feeling like a baby. Like my dad is all of 6'1", 200 whatever pounds, like built like a freaking linebacker, but like I felt like a baby in his arms, and just seeing him cry gave me permission to also cry and feel like I'm going to miss my dad. I can only imagine going through that as a father. But I mean, I could only imagine what Penelope goes through in those moments as well. But I mean,
I think the way that we handle it though, dog, it's easy to her. It's not a deal.
Yeah, she doesn't. Yeah. And that's. I guess that's
to her. I'm ringing every time she call. Like I'm nervous.
Yeah, I think that's
get air. Let's go.
I think that's where.
So it's like it's a difference.
When we talked about my upbringing, where I said I got two parents that love me, they never let me see that a beat was skipped. It was just, this was normal. Yeah. This was the new normal. So yeah, I could see how that is how it is for Penelope. But to bring it back to a positive, so you say Wednesday's that hard day. Okay, tell me about the morning that you're about to go pick her up.
So what you mean, like
obviously we saw the low of like, all right, this is, hey, I'm coming back Wednesday. The laughter's not there. What's that morning of knowing you about to pick up that laughter?
Oh my nigga, especially on days that she ain't got school. I'm up before she is. I feel like. But the thing is, I still try to give her and her mom a little space and a little time. So again, every day I'm always at school or at the barbershop, right? So give her till like mid afternoon. I go pick her up, but I'm going with like flowers. Her favorite candy's Twix. I got like some like Squishmallow. I make it to where the first man that comes to pick her up is me, and I have validation for her. She has a gift because she's deserving of love and showering of things every time her dad, her man, comes to get her. So I get her flowers. We go on dates. Like today was kind of hard because normally what I do is I go pick her up and I'm like, "Yo, what do you want to do before Daddy has to do the podcast?" But today I had to clean up and I was running behind on a lot of things. So I was like, "Yo, I'm sorry, but like tomorrow before Daddy leaves to go out of town, whatever you want to do." And she was just like, "I just want to hang out and play swords," which is just Nintendo Wii Switch. So she wants to play Wii Switch. She wants to fight me. So from the time she wakes up, we eat cookies and shit in the morning, chocolate chip like pancakes, whatever. Like you got the morning. Like I make sure that she knows. Again, like her mom's house has more discipline because she's there more of the time. So when she's here, yeah, we got some lines that we can't cross, some things, measures and boundaries. But other than that, like, nigga, this is your crib. What do you want to do? Like, because Daddy's gonna be a kid the second that you like y'all heard in the first. I'm 7 because she's 7, and then when she's 8, I'm 8. So I get to relive all the stuff you want to do. So do you want to play Switch all day? You want to watch like Ninja Turtles? You want to watch X-Men like we were during the production meeting? Do you want to watch X-Men for the next like 7 hours? Because I'm down for that. Let's go for it. I think the feeling of that morning is just more joy because I know my day is full. My heart's full. Not saying that I'm not full all the time, but there's a big ass chunk of my heart that's gone whenever I'm not with my kid because people know me and they associate me as dad. Dad, dope ass golfer, dope ass streamer. That's literally it. Those are the 3 things they hit. So when they know that I'm not with my kid, they're like, or they're not that they know I'm not. They assume that I am. So they see me like, "Hey, where's Penelope?" I'm like, "She's with her mom today." So it's like it's not like a negative. It's just like I'm constantly reminded that Shorty is not there. So I'm not envious of you guys, like, but I always let the homies know who are in their children's lives and who want to be there. Is like, if you fuck this up, we have real issues. There is nothing stopping you from being in your child's life or being in your child's creator's life, i.e. mom or dad. We got real problems if y'all got to split up over some shit because the internet says something or because you let too many people on your boat. It's called a relationship for a reason, not a relation cruise.
Yo, I never heard that before. That's crazy. Yo, what?
That was a bar.
What?
That was a bar. That was a bar.
Not a cruise.
It's a relationship for a reason, not a cruise. You put too many people in your boat, that bitch gonna sink. It's a relationship, my nigga, not a cruise, my nigga. I'm not lying to you, bro.
That's so smooth, bro. That's crazy.
Tell me without telling me you told some niggas that shit too many times. Tell me you told that to too many people too many times without telling me you told that to too many people. Like, for real, bro.
Crazy.
Hey, like, no bullshit. Like, and it became more prevalent with my wife and I.
Yo, if
our
that's
relationship
not
has been
you need to
great.
Put that on a t-shirt for real. That shit is like
that's on the t-shirt.
Fire.
Relationship, not a cruise. Hey, with just like an arrow going back and forth, like the squiggly motion.
As a GIF, I'm sending that to everybody.
No, I think that's very important to, like, again, like we said in the Keith episode, the people that matter, and the people that don't. Like, keep. And I'm so glad that, like, I just saw my sister-in-law, she just walked in the frame. Like, that's something that, like, my wife and I it's been a challenge in our relationship, is like that push-pull when it comes to the in-laws, or like what is it with that? It's like, nigga, when you look at, like, me, I was looking at myself like, bro, when you look at yourself, you was a problem. These beautiful ass Hispanic people don't do shit but care about you. Every time they see you, like, when I'm coming up there, when they know I'm coming, they're like, "Hey, what does Blair want to eat?" Like, what kind of tacos you want? What kind of tortas you want? Like birria, like el pastor. Like, what is it we doing? I'm like, all right, Poppy, let's go. So it's a lot of the issues that I've had has been with me because I'm in my own head and I got 19 niggas in my head. So it's easy to like. It's easy and it's refreshing to be able to be like, oh, this works, and I know it works because I've been a fuck up for so long. Number one thing is when you stop putting other people's in your business, nobody knows your business. So then when shit goes south at the crib, you don't post it on the internet. When y'all happy again, nobody knows that y'all was just beefing 3 days ago. I got niggas that do that right now, as soon as this day. Like, we cutting this part out. But like, hey, the people that matter, and the people that don't. Love yours, J. Cole said.
Love yours. I love it.
That's the second J. Cole pull we did in this podcast.
I love it.
He's gonna come on next.
Yo, could you imagine?
Yeah. So I got a question for you because that kind of segues into two questions I have before we get up out of here. The first one is, De'Meco, who is it that you would like to see on the Father Time podcast? We talked about Denzel. We've had private conversations about the people that we already know that are like upper echelon that might be in. So we're not going to say it, but we might say it. But who would you want on the podcast?
So a person that I think I would really just enjoy chopping it up with. I mean, I don't think we've said this before, but like I probably have Steph Curry. In my head, he's like,
we haven't.
Yeah, all right. Well,
you've not said that to me.
Like, yeah, as far as from what the media allows us to see, he looks like a dope ass dad. Like I just and
oh yeah,
I mean the fact that he's balancing obviously NBA career, like NBA champion. Like let's just be honest, that his relationship to Aisha, and then 3 kids.
Yeah,
and putting on for the Howard golf team, and doing his undefeated junior
his undefeated series,
junior golf series. Like he putting on for everything that I love, and I mean, I'm a little disappointed. I almost decided to go to Davidson, and we would have been in the same classes. And to think that, to think that I would have been like that with Steph, like that's crazy.
We could already had the end, bro. What are you doing?
Exactly.
Past De'Meco, wanting to go to other schools.
When you talk about like different versions of yourself that could have been, like I think about that. Mm-hmm. Like there's a version of De'Meco that went to Jackson State University. He looks very different than what you see in front of you right now. There was a version of De'Meco that went to West Point, the United States Military Academy. That is a vastly different version of De'Meco than you see right now. And I am very happy with the version I am right now because that's the Winston Bishop version. Like that's the sweet spot for me. And we'll bring it back to how the whole conversation started. Like bird shirts, like that's me. I don't know if I'm going to be dancing with a cat named Ferguson because I don't really fuck with cats like that.
Ferguson cat. Really you got to fuck with the cat, bro.
I'm allergic, so that's the only reason why. But like, if I give you a bird shirt, you better wear the bird shirt. That's all I gotta say.
That's moms.
What's up, moms?
They say what's up. All right. But no, so I think the person that I find myself like truly wanting to have on the podcast, and this is gonna be one of those ones that say fuck it, we've already talked about, but we're just gonna throw it out to the wind. Damian Lillard. I have a friend of mine who is pretty close to Dame, and he's given Dame the podcast, at least giving him the link. So there's a hope in the world out there that Damian Lillard, the 3-point champion, the back-to-back 3-point champion, pardon me, and the current All-Star MVP might know about our podcast and might want to be on it.
Father time, Dame time. I mean,
if we can get Dame time, you know what I'm saying? Let's get that Dame time going. I wanted to ask you this before we got out of here. Just like more of a high note thing. what is one of your favorite memories with Mayari in her 1 year, like her first year? What's like one of your favorite memories with your daughter? That isn't the turd that we heard about earlier.
I mean, I had to make my wife take a picture of it because I was like, "Yo, it's her first poop."
Stop it!
I was like, "It's the first. It's the first." She had to delete it immediately.
Okay.
She's like, "I don't want shit in my."
Yeah,
photo
she's like,
album."
"I'm not doing that." Yeah, the algorithm's fucked up now.
For real. Oh, also, by the way, algorithms. You asked me to Google Pookie.
A Pookie's a fart that rolls from the front to the back. Okay. That was so weird. I didn't know that until yesterday.
That's not the answer I got.
What'd you get?
I didn't get that.
What
did I get?
What'd you get?
That. Maybe I spelled it wrong. Now I'm gonna throw out my whole algorithm.
No, don't bring it back. Don't do that.
How are you spelling it?
I don't know. I didn't spell it. I was told this information yesterday by a friend of mine named Kylan. Sorry.
Google gave me a legitimate definition of that. Pookie is like a term of endearment of like something cute, like you just being cute.
Oh,
yeah, you tell me it's a like fart that comes from the back to the front.
That's what this girl said yesterday. She was like, "It's a period fart, and it's like a fart that goes from the front to the back."
I'm about to.
Oh, what the fuck is going on?
What did your
ask your wife
say? Did your wife?
So yes, obviously.
No, but did your wife say that's that's what a Pookie is?
A Pookie, yes.
That's what she said it is. Okay.
They know it as Pookie. I and us as niggas, we call any girl that we used to date back in the day Pookie.
I've never called
never
called anyone Pookie in my life.
Not really. As I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've ever called.
I like how you looked at all of us like this is. I'm like, I don't do that.
I was like, it's us, right? We did that, right? No, okay, sorry. I'll put us all in the same boat. See, that's putting too many people in your ship.
You put yourself in a boat that you ain't
put niggas in your ship. I'm not even in the. I didn't do it. I drug us all in the boat and then threw us out.
This is Blair starting a statement as if he knows what he's talking about and not realizing what he's saying until he has said what he said.
Yes. Yes. Pookie is a front that goes to the back to the front, though. I know that. All right. So, favorite childhood memory with your daughter.
How do we go from that, from Pookie to this? Okay.
How do we
get
there?
All right.
How do we get there? That's so crazy.
Oh, man. Favorite memory with my daughter right now. It's hard to choose because I remember the first time I did like the skin to skin, like that's just real for me, you know. But I mean, right now it's right now. Like she's calling me Papa, and like she knows it. Like, and we've had that conversation where I've wanted her to call me that.
At first, it was the dog.
Exactly, it was Puppy, but she was pointing at me, and so it went from that to her saying dad a lot because that's what every children program is saying. And I wanted so much for her to just like Papa, like, and that's what she does now. And she says it so adorably and on command.
It's just, man. Yes. So now we got the intro.
Yeah,
we intro.
We definitely got it. And then another thing that she does that it's weird, but, when I say goodbye to her, like when I leave for work or whatever, like the way our couch is set up, she can like lean over and like kind of just like give a wave as I'm leaving, but she'll say bye, like bye. And anytime we try to get her to say bye, she won't do it. Like anytime we try to get her to say bye, like when she's FaceTiming Nana or FaceTiming my mom, like she'll wait until we hang up and then she'll say the cute ass bye. I'm like, God damn, like let them see it too. Like they thinking that we're lying on you. Like you can do this, but you ain't doing it in front of them. I would say those are those things.
We just saw Penelope see you later. No, I think mine was in like the first year of Goose was when she figured out walking. Like when she figured out the stumbling to like standing outside, waddling with her hands out, and then started to slowly take steps. So it's just those things, like just like small memories like that are like some of the greatest things that you could think about when you think about your kid. And I think I'm trying to think now. I would have to say like current, bro. Like current Goose is the best Goose because like she's just doing everything that's sick.
Yeah.
Like she's reading now. She knows like ooze, like all her ooze, like ooh words, like fruit, all that shit. It's like crazy. She's like writing things. She's hella learning. I don't know. She's fun. I think like at this age, she's just fun to be around because like she's a person. She's not just like you don't have to deal with it with like kid gloves. Like I could toss her around.
Yeah, there's still a lot of.
And I've told her if she talks shit. I told her if she talks shit, she get hit. Not like don't call DHS on me, but I've like tossed her in the bed a few times. It's like
there's still baby gloves on right now because I can't do that. I can't wait to do that.
At 2, just start hucking her places, bro.
Yeah, right now it's at a drop of a hat. Her whole mood can change because of the teething. So like it's not all fun. There's some deep lows there.
It's not all fun.
There's some lows there.
It's not all going up.
There's some lows in there. But as you
for
brought
sure.
up, Goose, it was a question I wanted to ask you. I don't know if this is the age yet, but when is the daddy-daughter dance a thing for you and Penelope?
So me and Penelope went to a sneaker ball, which was called Sneaker. Yo, what was that sneaker thing we went to? The sneaker prom that we went to. Do you remember what it was called? Do you remember what we went to, the sneaker prom thing? Do you remember what it was called or no? If you don't, I don't either. No? All right, cool. Thank you. That was dope. I thought she was going to come over here with like, hey, daddy, it was called. Yeah, no. She was like, nigga, what are you talking about?
I told you I'm watching Teen Titans.
I said, nigga, stop bothering me. I'm talking to Alma. But no, so we went to like a sneaker prom just like last year. We got to dress up like it was a prom. She had like a black and purple sparkly dress on. I had like a nice suit on. I'll send you the picture. I went and picked her up, got her flowers, made it like a whole thing. So I think they start around like 5 or 6, bro. And then as she slowly develops, like events around town, or if I don't see events around town, like hell, I'm gonna end up having a Father Time sponsored father-daughter dance. You know what I'm saying? Like that'd be sick out here. That'd be the time that when you come to Portland, we'll have a father time daddy-daughter dance.
I love that. That's what's up.
We'll have a triple day because my boy Cal has a daughter, Clover. She's 2 months today, actually. So by the time you get out, she might be like 4, 5, 6 months. Whenever you guys get out here, but we're all dadded up. We're all dadded up and get out there, man.
On the adult side, obviously, I got to try that West Coast bud.
Yes, the West Coast weed is some of the best weed. So
we got to put my wife to the test to see if she's actually a smoker or not.
Yeah, because like my boy Wiz Khalifa said, you ain't yet really smoked unless you smoke one with the captain. So we're gonna see what's cracking.
What's the stance on how y'all watched and appreciated Wakanda Forever? Because it obviously represents
how we watched and appreciated Wakanda Forever. That's actually a great question because that kind of transitions back to the beginning of the episode, and we can end it off on this. Actually, she doesn't like being on camera, but I want to get her audio. If you guys don't mind, our special guest, Alma, come here real quick. Just a quick answer. Come here, Zini. Yeah. I said Zini, not Milo. So, audibly, what was the feeling that you had? And then I'll tell them the feeling that I had when we watched Wakanda Forever. Culturally, how did you feel?
Culturally, it was so dope. It was it was like a huge representation of just Black culture overall, and not just like modern, but like tribal. Like it was really really cool to see. Just
Wakanda
like,
Forever with Neymar.
Oh, I thought you meant just in general.
Yeah. No, the Neymar one.
Wakanda Forever. Yeah, it was cool, especially because I feel like Black people and brown people can be super connected. And I think that they both have, again, with the whole tribal thing, we do have tribes. We are native to our lands. And so seeing that just like on the screen was really, really cool. because there's like legit, the tribe that they were portraying. Like, there's obviously it's not the exact same thing because it's a movie, but it is very, very real and has deep roots. And I thought it was just like really, really cool to see on the screen. And I also liked how it wasn't actually like, me versus you, because it could have definitely been that way.
Yeah.
Which I think would have like taken a lot away from it. And so when I got to the end, it made more sense that way.
For
unity, essentially.
For sure. And she kind of just like echoed, and I'm gonna just piggyback off what she said, because that's exactly how I feel. Like I felt at the time when I watched Wakanda Forever, I was feeling for my wife and Mesoamerican people or Mayan people. Like I legit was feeling for those people what I felt for Black people when we watched Wakanda the first time. And for them to have like their call to action, like we had our call to action, goosebumps. It shows that representation means so much. And when you have someone in a major or notoriety, in a major platform on the big screen, or in a position of power, when you have someone that looks like you, sounds like you, acts like you, talks like you, in those spaces, it makes you feel seen, heard, felt, loved, like all those things. But I feel like for my son or my daughter in the future, who is going to be a Black and brown child, an African and a Mexican child, I feel like that child is going to be able to watch Wakanda Forever and see and be so emboldened in who he is or who she is, and be able to take off from that. So the power of representation means so much to our generation in general, whether it be, some people call it a flop, but whether it be the Marvels, where you see Black, white, and brown women, Middle Eastern women, all on camera together, and it's a woman empowering women movie. Representation means a lot. So, not like I felt a great sense of pride for my in-laws when I watched that movie.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
To go on to that, if you ever have time, on Disney Plus, they have like a behind the scenes of how they made the soundtrack. And they go like, the guy who did the soundtrack went to Africa, went to Nigeria, went to South Africa, and like worked with the artist to make the music. Obviously the soundtrack that you hear, but how to actually score the movie. And then they go to Central America, they go to Mexico, and they go to these tribes that don't have representation. Like it's just it's just such a great way to learn about the music behind the movie, and to listen, then rewatch the movie and listen for those little notes of some tribal screaming or whatever weird, unique instrument that they're playing. I think it blew me away. I mean, I loved the movie, but to see the actual cultural inspiration behind it, the music, the costume design, all of that, like you're spot on with the representation. It's key. That's why I'm waiting for a Filipino superhero right now. That's why I was so pumped for Ned to maybe be a little magical.
Well, I was about to say, let's find a way to make that shit ourselves. We can create a story, shoot it short. But yeah, you want to come over here or what?
Why do you keep on using my bathroom?
Because it's the closest bathroom, dude. I'm sorry.
But when you're here.
Damn, she said, put the seat down next time.
Dude, I am sorry.
And the toilet seat is always up and I have to close it.
I'm sorry. I really am. Why are you yelling at me? Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Is that okay? Cool.
Love it.
It's all good. Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, that's real.
That's a clip. I just code off on my child. Well, with that being said, we could definitely keep you guys for longer, but we're all gonna get up out of here, man, because again, Father Time is undefeated, and sometimes we do need to take a little bit of time away, but you're never not dad. So for myself and for De'Meco, and for the people here at Father Time Studios, because we can say that now. No, we appreciate you guys for being here and listening, because you could have been anywhere in the world. If you're listening to this episode, you are currently listening to it on all streaming platforms, whether that is YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or Amazon. Thank you all. Make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe button, leave a comment, share this with a friend, because that's literally how our algorithm works these days. Be nice and be a dope ass dad, bro. It's all good. I love you guys. Make sure you tell somebody that you love them. Peace.